What are the main difference between men and women that can never be changed?
Well, there's morphological differences, like physical differences that are part and parcel of our genetic heritage. Obviously, genitalia would be one of them, and secondary sex characteristics, upper body strength. So men on average are much stronger in their upper body. Women have a bit of an edge in stamina. They have a bit of an edge in verbal ability. Men seem to have a slight edge in spatial ability, although that's somewhat debatable, but it looks relatively solid. Women are more enthusiastic, men are more assertive, that's extroversion. Women are higher in withdrawal and volatility. Those are both aspects of trait neuroticism, which is the proclivity for negative emotion. So women experience more negative emotion than men. That kicks in at puberty. And the difference isn't massive, but it's large enough to produce about a 3-fold difference in the rates of depression and anxiety worldwide between men and women. Men are less agreeable, which is part of what accounts for the 10-to-1 ratio of men to women who are incarcerated, because that's the best personality predictor of criminal behavior. Women are more aesthetically oriented and men are more interested in ideas. That's on the openness side. Men are more interested in things on average, and women are more interested in people. And that's actually the largest psychological difference that we know of between men and women. And that's a major determinant of occupational choice.
Okay.
And so that's a good summary of the differences. IQ, there's not much difference, especially at the average. There's some indication that the IQ distribution for men might be flatter, which means that there would be more men at the lower end and more men at the upper end.
Okay.
Now, there's some dispute about that, but I think the bulk of the evidence suggests that that might be the case.
All right.
And so,
but why is the vast of majority of crimes done by men?
Men are more aggressive.
They have most testosterone, is it?
No, not necessarily, although testosterone seems to have something to do with it. Testosterone is more associated with confidence and competence.
They're more aggressive.
But, well, high testosterone guys aren't necessarily more aggressive. I think it might be that badly socialized high testosterone guys are more aggressive in the antisocial way. But testosterone itself is more associated with dominance than with aggression.
But why are men more aggressive than women?
They're bigger, they're stronger. Those are things that work. The advantages to being dominant are more potent for men because women tend to choose men who are higher up in status hierarchies. So well, I'll give you an example. Here, I can give you an example, and this is a good example. This was discovered by psychologists working at McMaster University in Canada, Martin and Daly. And they were looking at the relationship between inequality and crime. So in geographical areas where there's a lot of inequality, there's a lot more male criminality. And it's almost all within race, male criminality. And it's almost all a consequence of dominance dispute. So now women are selected, men are selected by women in part because of their status. And so men have a fair bit of motivation to acquire status. And so here's a way of acquiring status in a high crime neighborhood, high inequality neighborhood in Chicago. Have a dominance dispute with someone from another gang. Okay, you're both armed. One of you dies. Okay, now, is it murder or is it self-defense? It's plea bargain to self-defense. You end up in prison for 2 years. You get out in less than 18 months. Your street credibility goes way up. The net positive consequence across time is the net consequence across a reasonable span of time, not your whole life, is positive. You attain status increase. So there's situations where aggression, even untrammeled aggression, puts you higher up in the mating hierarchy. So that's one reason. So aggression, physical competition, physically aggressive competition among women produces no net positive improvement in mating opportunity. So